जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जयो राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे जयो श्री गोपाल जयो श्री गोपाल जयो गौरनिताय जयो गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 गुरुदेव। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजक आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस AC भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ISKCON BBT फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजक आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की। नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय हो। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांघ्रिये। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 5, Verse number 40. Gataryadasmin bhava isha jivas तापत्रयेण अभिहता न शर्म आत्मन् लभन्ते भगवंस्तदाङ्घ्रि छायां सविद्याम् अत आश्रयेम। धातर्यदस्मिन् भव ईश जीवा तापत्रयेण विहता न शर्म Atman labhante bhagav samhatangri chayam savidhyam ata ashrayema. Dataryat asmin bhavaisha jiva tapatrayena vihatana sharma. Atman labhante bhagavam stamangri chayam savidhyam ata ashrayema. Word to word meanings. Tata, O Father, yet, because, asmin, in this, bhave, material world, Isha, O Lord, Jita, the Jiva, the living entities, Tapa, miseries, Trayena, by the three, Abhihata, always embarrassed, Na, never, Sharma, in happiness, Atman, self, Labhante, do gain, Bhagavan, O personality of Godhead, Tava, your, Angri, Chayam, shade of your feet, Savidyam, full of knowledge. Atah, obtain. Ashrayema, shelter. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O Father, O Lord, O Personality of Godhead, the living entities in the material world can never have any happiness because they are overwhelmed by the three kinds of miseries. Therefore, they take shelter of the shade of your lotus feet, which are full of knowledge, and we also thus take shelter of them. Purport. The way of devotional service is neither sentimental nor mundane. It is the path of reality by which the living entity can attain the transcendental happiness of being freed from the three kinds of material miseries. Miseries arising from the body and mind, from other living entities, and from natural disturbances. Everyone who is conditioned by material existence, whether he be a man or beast or demigod or bird, must suffer from adhyatmika, bodily or mental pains, adi bhautika pains, those offered by living creatures, and adhyatmika pains, those due to supernatural disturbances. Adi daivika pains, those due to supernatural disturbances. His happiness is nothing but a hard struggle to get free from the miseries of conditional life. But there is only one way he can be rescued, and that is by accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The argument that unless one has proper knowledge, one cannot be freed from material miseries is undoubtedly true. But because the lotus feet of the Lord are full of transcendental knowledge, acceptance of His lotus feet completes that necessity. We have already discussed this point in the first canto, Canto 1, Chapter 2, verse number 7. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayatya Shuvairagyam Jnanam Cha Yad Ahaitukam. There is no want of knowledge in the devotional service of Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead. He, the Lord, personally takes charge of dissipating the darkness of ignorance from the heart of a devotee. He confirms this in the Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. Empiric philosophical speculation cannot give one relief from the threefold miseries of material existence. Simply to endeavor for knowledge without devoting oneself to the Lord is a waste of valuable time. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Seeking the blessing of all the devotees. So we are on chapter 5 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. No, sorry. Chapter 5 of the third canto, and the verse is number 40. So once again, let us read the translation. O Father, O Lord, O Personality of Godhead, the living entities in the material world can never have any happiness because they are overwhelmed by the three kinds of miseries. Therefore, they take shelter of the shade of your lotus feet, which are full of knowledge, and we also thus take shelter of them. Hare Krishna. So these are the prayers that are being offered by the demigods to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These prayers start from verse number 39, this is the next verse, and it goes up to verse number 51. So in this 5th chapter, Vidura is hearing from Maitreya at Haridwar. And it's very interesting to note that Vidura is asking questions that will benefit all of mankind for all times to come. The question he is asking is how to mitigate distress, how to attain a real happiness, not the relative happiness of this material world. Please instruct on transcendental devotional service to Krishna. This is actually the process to mitigate distress. Seeking knowledge of Purushavatars, Leelavatars. And he says, describe only Krishna Katha. Why? He says, describe only Krishna Katha because it vanquishes miseries, increases detachment, creates auspiciousness, and is the essence of all topics. So from verse number 17 to 21, Maitreya is glorifying Vidura. He says, you are the son of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is the person who has compiled the Mahabharata, and Gita is a small part of the Mahabharata. Vyasadeva has compiled the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, and of course all the 18 Puranas. So such a great personality, and Vidura is the son of such a person. And he says, you are Yamaraj himself. Yamaraj is one of the 12 Mahajans. So he's not an ordinary person. And then he says, the Lord left instructions for you with me. Because when the Lord departed from this world, he wound up his pastimes. So the last he spoke to was to Uddhav in the presence of Maitreya. So at that time, some instructions were given. He remembered Vidura. So he is mentioning that here. This is Bhagavatam. It gives us the ultimate, nothing mundane or nothing sentimental. Vidura is not talking to Maitreya to ask him, oh, how I miss Krishna, he was so beautiful, he was our life and soul. No, he's not talking such things. He is directly coming to the most important questions which is benefiting entire mankind. And even to this day and for perpetually, this Bhagavatam is going to be read and is the source of information for the living entities, languishing in ignorance in this material world. So detailed descriptions of step-by-step process of the creation is found in the Bhagavatam and in the Vedic literature. Nowhere else such details are mentioned. In other scriptures it is mentioned, let there be light, and there was light. Let there be creation, and there was creation. That's all. Just in 2 lines, the whole matter is condensed. But here, in detailed, threadbare, it is being discussed. So though it is technical, just hearing is purificatory. That is the reason it is incorporated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Besides, it also shows us that God is not only great, but how great is God. That is also revealed just by hearing this knowledge. Very often people ask, why does the Lord make it so hard to quit the material entanglement? Very often this question is asked, why this Maya is coming in between and as a hurdle between us and the Lord, always taking us away from the Lord, though we want to go to the Lord? So the answer is, it is the struggle that gives strength through the butterfly to break free from the cocoon and fly free. Without that struggle, a living entity will not be able to value the freedom and will not be able to have the strength to break from the entanglement of material nature. So therefore, the struggle is an ingredient for progress. He is giving us an out-of-the-box solution, showing us the escape route. He is waiting for us to take the initiative to go back to Godhead. That is the greatness of the Lord. He is not going to force anybody, slap you on the face and say, come back to Godhead, I am taking you. No. He is giving us all the allurements of the material world. That we will understand as we go further. And then He is ready to pull us out. But the initiative has to come from us. We have to indicate that, yes, my Lord, please take my hand, pull me out. That is why we raise our hands when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We are begging for His mercy. बहुत हो गया, खींच के निकालो बाहर अभी. So, as we will see in today's verse, He is ready to pull us out. So, verse number 22 to 38, Maitreya Rishi explains the process of creation. This is very interesting because with all the technical advancement and progress in science and technology, it will not be able to go back step by step to see how this creation has come. We are also a part of that creation, how we have been created. This we can only understand by hearing from the Creator. Only He can explain. Only the mother can tell the child who is the father. In the same way, only the Creator can tell us the intricacies of the creation. So, in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verse number 34, Krishna says, Daivi esha hi gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mamaiva ye prapadyante mayam yetam tarantite. So, if the goal is to escape from the entanglement of Maya, if that is a kind of a gadget, how to escape from the entanglement of Maya, then the switch for that is to surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna. So Krishna is explaining like that. If you want breeze, you have to switch on. You don't have to actually move the fan with a stick. Just switch on and the fan starts moving. In the same way, if you want to be freed from the entanglement of Maya, Krishna says, just surrender unto me. Mamevaye prapadyante mayam yetam tarantite. So he is giving us an out-of-the-box solution. We don't have to struggle with Maya to get free from Maya. We have to surrender to Krishna and automatically you are free. Also, there is the example of Maya being described as a ferocious dog, which is with the master. As soon as anybody approaches the master, the ferocious dog is ready to pounce upon it, and so one keeps away. But as soon as the master gives an order to the dog, sit down, the dog puts his tail between the two legs and sits down, no more disturbing the visitor anymore. Exactly, that is exactly how the Lord is indicating to us. Come to me. Spiritual world is actually our true home. A jail or a hospital is not a place of permanent residence. The theme of the Srimad Bhagavatam is detached from material world and attached to the spiritual world, Krishna. Material world is the Lord's compassion. That's what we have to understand. We may think, why is the Lord so cruel, making it so difficult for us to be in this material world and so difficult to get out of this material world? But actually, when you analyze and see the process of creation and you understand how He has made things step by step, then we understand. Out of compassion, He has created this material world so that we can take the escape route and go out. He has given us an escape route. So first of all, He has made this material world doesn't look like a jail. It looks like a very comfortable place to be in. So what does He do? The three ropes that binds us to this material world, the three gunas, He has made them invisible. You don't see them. Dikhta hi nahi hai. You say, wow, so nice. But then He has also given us three invisible ropes. These three invisible ropes are there to tie you down, the three gunas, Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun. But there are the three invisible ropes He is dangling from the top, from the spiritual world, to help you to come out of this material world. That is Shastra, Sadhu and Guru. So these are the helplines. And He also has given us a choice. So here is the binding, here is the path to freedom, and in between He has given you the choice. Now you choose. You want to be bound? Go ahead. You want to be free? Go ahead. I am there to help you both ways. Choose which three you want. So He says, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. I am equal to everybody. I don't discriminate. Choice is yours. Material world is like a mother's womb. One has to be delivered from the womb. That is why when a lady is pregnant, they say, when is the date of delivery? People ask that question. Similarly, in this material world, we are just like sitting in a mother's womb. Sadhu, Shastra and Guru, they come to deliver us. They are like the doctors to take you out of the womb. Where? To deliver you unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, our real mother and father. When the child comes out of the womb, the child meets the mother and the father. So that is exactly what the Sadhu and Guru, based on the Shastras, they are helping us to come out and meet our mother and meet our father. So the step-by-step creation. Canto 12, chapter 7, verse number 11 says, Sarga. Sarga means the primary creation. The primary creation which is done by the Lord Himself. From the agitation of the original modes within the unmanifest material nature, the Mahat Tattva arises, which is known as consciousness or Chitta Shakti, Chetana Shakti. From Mahat Tattva comes false ego, which divides into three aspects, further manifests as senses, working senses, sense objects, etc. This is creation done by the Lord. So, Prakriti, that is material nature, is also known as Pradhan, Mahamaya or Avyakta. Avyakta means in the initial state, it is unmanifest. It comprises of the three modes, that is Sattva, Rajo and Tamo gunas, but in an inactive state. Then Mahavishnu glances and impregnates Prakriti with first Kala Shakti, the time element. And time element is also personified as Lord Shiva. In Ujjain there is a beautiful temple which is known as Mahakaleshwar, the eternal time. That is Shiva. And then Jiva Shakti, the spirit soul, the living entities. This Jiva Shakti, when it comes, it is also the internal potency of the Lord, marginal potency of the Lord. And when it comes with two baggage. When you travel, you carry your baggage. So it carries two baggage with it. One baggage is karma from the past, and the other baggage is the swabhava or the acquired mode of behavior after undergoing so much of treatment in the material world in the previous kalpa. So these four elements come in by the glance of Mahavishnu. And time, the first element that comes in, it is like a stirring rod. It begins activity, it starts the movement and activates the three modes. Mahavishnu enters each universe as Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and he lies within the Garbhodaka ocean as the super soul of the Brahmanda. He begins to build the 24 elements. So the first creation is the Mahat Tattva, consciousness, Chitta Shakti, or the Chetana Shakti. This Mahat Tattva, or this consciousness, is actually belonging to the spiritual world. So this Mahat Tattva is like a junction between the spiritual world and the material world. Aldous Huxley, a famous physicist, has made a remark which is very much relevant here. He said, you cannot explain the functioning of the universe simply by studying energy and matter. You have to introduce the third dimension of consciousness, without which the working of the universe cannot be explained completely. And that is exactly what we see here. The first element to enter or to be created is consciousness. It is actually not created, it is introduced from the spiritual world. The second creation is ahankara, or a partition between the living entity and the Lord. It's false ego. It arises from the Mahat Tattva. So now two elements have been created. First, Mahat Tattva, and the second is the ahankara. Now the activated tamoguna combines with the ahankar to produce the Pancha Mahabhutas, the five basic elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. Bhumirapo nalo vayu kham mano buddhirevacha ahankaramiti yamme bhinna prakritirashthada. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I think in the 8th chapter, he says, these 8 are my separated energies. It's not the internal energy of the Lord. They are separated from the Lord. Just as the milk of the cow is the separated energy of the cow, in that way. So, So now, the 2 earlier we said, and now 5 elements are created. So 2 and 5 together, 7 elements have been created. And then the activated Rajoguna combines with the Ahankar to create the 5 Jnanendriyas, that is the knowledge acquiring senses, the eyes, nose, etc. The 5 Karmendriyas, the hands, legs, etc., the organs of activity. And also it produces intelligence. So now 5 is 10, and 10 and 1 is 11. So 7 plus 11. So now 18 elements have been created. And then the activated Sattva Guna combines with the Ahankar to create the 5 Tanmatras, or the sense objects, that is smell, taste, form, touch and sound. And also the activated Sattva Guna, when it combines with the Ahankar, the mind is produced. So which is the next one, that is 5 plus 1, 6. So 18 plus 6, now the 24 elements are thus created. This is done by Vishnu himself. So that is the Sarga. But then, to further continue the creation, he has delegated the job to Brahma. So from the Garbhodak ocean, from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, the lotus appears, and on that Brahma appears. And he is delegated the second part of the creation, which is known as Visarga. Sarga is over, now it is Visarga. And what does he do? The secondary creation by Brahma, he decides who will live where in this material creation. Like when a city springs up, there is some area which is for the elite category, there is some area for the labor category, some area for the middle class, like that. So here, he creates the Satyaloka, where Brahma resides, the Tapaloka, Janaloka, Maharloka, where the rishis and sages will reside, then the Swargaloka, where the Devtas reside, the Bhurloka, where the Rakshasas and Gandharvas will reside, and the Bhuloka, where the human beings and the 84 lakh species will live. Then the lower planets, which are the subterranean planets, the Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, and the Rasatala, where the Asuras reside, and the Mahatala and the Patala, the bottommost, where the snakes reside. Then the presiding deities for all of these are created, and they are the Mahatattva, they are the Antakarana, it is known as the inner senses. So the Mahatattva, the presiding deity is Vishnu. For Ahankar, it is Rudra or Shiva. Then for intelligence, it is Brahma. And for mind, it is Chandra. So we know mind controls the moon controls the mind. Okay? External senses, the Bahya Karna, ears, Digdevata, sky, Vayu, eyes, sun, tongue, Varuna, nostrils, Ashwini Kumaras, hands, Indra, legs, Upendra, genitals, Prajapati, Daksha, and the anus, Mitra, and Mrityu. And then there are the 7 layers covering this entire creation, and they are the outer covering, and the 5 Mahabhutas, the 5 Pancha Mahabhutas are the 5 initial coverings. On top of that is the covering of Ahankar, which is actually another role of Lord Shiva. And the final is the Mahatattva, or the consciousness, which is the outermost covering of this Brahmanda. So now, this way, this is the more or less structure given of the universe. But what we see is only our universe. Our universe is like an egg, and we are right inside it. So whatever we are seeing is what is contained inside this universe. But like that, there are millions and millions of universe. So we can imagine what is the magnitude of this creation that the Lord has done. And talking about creation, some stray thoughts which are coming to mind are, we also create, we have made machines, and machines produce products. But the machines that we make and the products that are created by the machines, they are identical to each other. If you have a die and you make the product in the factory, if there is a scratch somewhere in the die, all the 1,000 pieces that are made will have the same scratch. That is how our creation is. That is how we produce, mechanical. But when the Lord creates, it is, He creates everything individually, separately, with love. He creates everything with love. That is His greatness. That is why every part of His creation, every little creation that comes from Him is unique. No two faces in this world are alike. Every human being has a separate face. That is the creation of the Lord. That is His greatness. That we understand how He is. And also, now Lord has created this material world. We know it is a place of darkness, a place of ignorance. So in this, He has lit a lamp, and that is the sun. You just look at the sun. Now we also have made lamps. For example, there is this chandelier here. It is suspended from the top. But if you see right at the top, there is a cup which is covering the hook from which the chandelier is hanging. But behind that hook, you see, behind that cup, you see there is shadow. There is a shadow of that cup. Okay? From the point of suspension, that produces a shadow. Similarly, if you light a lamp, diya, it is made of mud lamp, oil inside, there is a wick, and you light the lamp. The lamp is burning, but what is there? There is shadow at the base. We call it diya tale andhera. Diya tale andhera. There is shadow at the base. So this is the limit of our creation. We also create, but there is some imperfection in our creation. But look at the sun. The sun is 360 degrees spherical. It has no point of suspension. and no point of support. It does not cast a shadow of its own. Diya tale andhera is our way of creation, but the sun, it does not cast a shadow. The shadow is cast by an object which is turning away from the sun. When you go towards the sun, you don't see your shadow. Your shadow is behind you. So you just see how beautiful is the creation of the Lord. The sun is something unique. It is just suspended in the vacuum, in the space. But again there, if you actually study the Shastras and you hear the Shastras carefully, you see something great. And the Shastras say that every planet is held in position on the hoods of Sankarshan or Adishesh. Now word Sankarshan means gravity. Karshan, gravity means Akarshan. You just see the word. So we, in science, we interpret it as everything is held in position by gravitational force. But the Shastras also are giving it a personal form. Gravitational force, but coming from a person, and that person is Sankarshan. So he is the one who is responsible for this. And it is said that he is individually holding every planet on his hood. But what happens when you see with the microscope or the binoculars, you cannot see any Adishesh out in the outer space. That is again a wonder of his creation. He can choose to reveal himself or hide himself according to what he wants. We don't have that choice. If we are there somewhere, we are automatically caught in the camera. But when he wants, he can reveal himself or he can hide himself. That is another greatness about him. So if you just go in minuteness and see how great is the Lord, it is amazing and wonderstruck. So I have just tried to put a few of these points, which I have already explained once, which already I read out this, so I will once again try to read it out. Man sweats and frets on what his heart gets set. Until he achieves it, he will not rest. Yet when he gets his heart's desire, new passions surge up and new goals arise. Fresh efforts forthcome and he continues to strive, chasing the horizon that's never to arrive. Struggle not achievement, motion not rest, desire not fulfillment is his endless quest. Then what is the way for one in this world not to get caught in this entangling net? As the spider alone can unweave his web, only the Lord can clean up this mess. Here then his glories of cosmic creation, which reflects his love and greatest compassion. Not only great, know how great is he, just by his grace come out of the race. See through the mist of worldly illusion and stay at his feet is the conclusion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. A few more points. In this particular verse, the 40th verse, actually from 39 to 43, all these verses are describing the glories of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So verse number 39, yesterday, which was discussed, is describing the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord as an umbrella. Now, normally when you hold an umbrella, you are sheltered from the heat or the sunlight, When it is too scorching heat, you hold an umbrella, you get a shade. Okay. But then Pavaneshwar Prabhu gave one extra point in that. What he said? He says, an umbrella that you hold will only give you a shade. But this umbrella that the Lord is holding for us, his lotus feet, he's sheltering us with his lotus feet. And this umbrella also gives you sweet nectar, and that is the Lord's grace. And that sweet nectar, drops of water, nectarine water, that actually gives you soothing, from the pangs of this material existence. The trayo, what do you call it? The three kleshas. So Adi-Daivik, Adi-Bhautik and Adhyatmik kleshas. From that, it gives us relief. Even in this material world, when you take shelter of the Lord, one immediately senses relief from these miseries just by the soothing words and his grace. that automatically one is able to sense it. Then in the 40th verse it says, the lotus feet of the Lord are full of knowledge. They give the shade, they give us relief. So again we come to that verse which we read in this particular purport of this verse. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayatyashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Yahaitukam. You see, what is the benefit of reading the Bhagavatam? When you take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, what happens is, two things simultaneously happen. Like when you light a lamp, immediately darkness is vanquished. When you light a lamp, immediately darkness goes of its own accord. You don't have to make a separate endeavor. Similarly, when you take shelter of the Supreme Lord, by hearing the Krishna Katha, by hearing His glories, by hearing His pastimes, by understanding the intricacies of the creation, all this is Krishna Katha. When you do this, two things happen. What are the two things? It is Janayatya Ashu Vairagyam, detachment immediately develops in the heart. We don't have to make a separate attempt for it. Janayatya means Janam leta hai. Ashu means very quickly. Vairagyam means detachment. And we said earlier, the entire theme of the Srimad Bhagavatam is to create or to develop detachment for this material creation and develop attachment for the spiritual world to the lotus feet of Krishna. So that just hearing Krishna Katha, hearing Bhagavatam automatically creates or infuses detachment for this material world. To chant, then following the four regulative principles becomes easy. Before chanting, it is difficult to give up intoxication, meat eating, illicit sex, or attraction to the opposite sex, and ultimately gambling. These are the things which mean people are naturally drawn. But one who begins to chant, he finds greater strength to overcome these weaknesses, because that is the secret that is revealed over here. And then, Janayatya Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Yatat Ahaitukam Chayat Ahaitukam. Knowledge does not have to be imported from outside. The soul is Satchitanand. Satchit means full of knowledge, consciousness. Sat means eternal, and Anand means that happiness which has no tinge of sorrow in it, which is unadulterated with sorrow. That is Anand, unadulterated happiness. So this is naturally there in the soul, but when it is covered by this matter, then it gets polluted. So just by Krishna Katha, it can remove that pollution. Shelter of the lotus feet is therefore so important. The compassion of the Lord is also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 10/10. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. The Lord says, for one who is striving, so as I told earlier, Lord has given us three bindings, the three gunas. He has given us the three escape routes, the three sadhu, shastra and guru, and He has also given us a choice. He is only waiting to see whether we are making the right choice, or He is encouraging us also to make the right choice by sending the Shastras. But He wants us to make a choice on our own. He doesn't want to impose it on us. So when we are making the right choice, then what He does? Tesham satata yuktanam, those who are aspiring for it. Bhajatam priti purvakam, who are actually chanting His names, who are actually worshipping Him with love. Then what He does? Dadami buddhi yogam tam. He says, I supply them the knowledge, the understanding by which they can come to me. So that is His compassion. He's waiting, He's just waiting around the corner, looking what are we going to do. And the minute we show that, yes, my Lord, I want to come to you, immediately He starts His flow of mercy. And then the understanding dawns on the living entity. So how do we understand, how do we catch these spiritual truths and the spiritual tattvas? How do we get it? By the mercy of the Lord. By our endeavor we can't do it. Not by our It's not our greatness, our smartness. No, we are nothing in left to ourselves. It's only when the Lord chooses that, okay, granted, de do isko, then the development starts. That is His greatness. So material existence, happiness is very fickle, very fickle. Just now I heard a news, one of our devotees, I think he got drowned in the Ganges. That was a very sad news. So see, till yesterday, the person is with us. Today suddenly there is a accident or a mishap has taken place and the person. So our life is very, very fickle. It is just, like hanging from a slender thread. So how to go from this fickle position to the position of firmness, from fickle to firm? Hanging from a slender thread is health, wealth, and your very life. Why then do you, little soul, challenge the God who is your Lord? Know Him to be wise and kind. He will fulfill your every need. Reign in your unlimited wants. The more you have, the more you want. How little, see, your hands can hold. On His fingertip, He can hold the world. In love surrender, O foolish soul, to Him who has a heart of gold. Like the pen is mightier than the sword, His glance can cut the strongest bond. The bond of this world may hold you tight, but dissolves like the mist in bright sunlight. He holds you with such gentle care, you don't even know that He is there. Bind yourself to His name and self, for His name itself is His very self. Chant out then His names aloud with your mind and body and your soul. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय।